Hey guys, Mitch here at day 2 of PAX West, day 2 of 4. We are talking with Spacewars today. I've got James, lead producer for Spacewars. It's a tactical MMO, space combat. There's a lot of things here. I'll just let you just take off with it.
Well, Spacewars, as mentioned, is a tactical strategy MMO. And one of the key aspects about Spacewars being an MMO is that you have a galactic map, but each sector within the galactic map is instanced, but ties directly in to the overmap. So you can warp in with your ship at any time and be against an opponent. Let's say they're in a frigate, you're in a destroyer. They can call in reinforcements, destroyers, behemoths, at any time of the match. But it being a tactical strategy game, you're only commanding one ship at a time. And as a captain, you playing the game, you get more and more experience, which allows you to gain access to more and more ships.
So yeah, what do you start out with? So you're coming into the game like first game, or do you only have access to like some of the smaller ones and then you build up over time, or do you have abilities to go for those bigger ones, those behemoths that sound really enticing, but I know will take up pretty much an entire instance or a big chunk of it when they try to warp in?
It starts out where you have a limited selection of ships, but they are the smaller, lighter ships. But one of the key aspects of the game is that the ships, based on their weight classes, aren't necessarily better one versus the other. Each ship is specialized in a role. So the lighter ships that you start off with are more specialized for scouting. So tying into MMO aspect, you can go out, explore territories, and let your forces know where there are weaknesses in the enemy lines. So you can call in reinforcements for the larger ships. But because the smaller ships are also more agile, they can go around the enemy larger ships and maneuver a lot more freely than the enemy ships can be able to turn around. So you can do a lot of strafing and hit and run attacks and coordinate with other light corvettes and frigates to take on the larger ships and swarm them. And as the captain, you get more experience. And as a result of getting more experience, you get access to larger ships. But if you're not doing so well, you start losing experience and may lose access to certain ships. But we don't want to have it where you're just having a bad night and you lose access to all your ships. So there'll be a gating system to prevent you from dropping too far. But there is a risk reward, so if you're getting low in combat in terms of your ship systems, you can warp out of there and try to preserve your ship so you don't lose experience. But that's where you get experience from destroying enemy ships, so it's a give-take relationship.
Is there anything like, so somebody starting out, do they have anything besides just going and battling enemy ships, or is there, I say enemy, I guess other player-controlled ships? Are there AI-based ones? Are there anything else to do that can build that experience when you're starting out, so that you're not just getting stomped when you're completely new to the game, or how does that work for anything else?
Yes, there's support AI that will help flush out the universe, because certain sectors may be a little Spartan. So you want to be able to explore and not be completely bored out of your mind. So you'll be engaging AI ships, but also there's different ship roles. There's support ships, like repair ships. So even if you're not necessarily don't have the tactical acumen starting out, you can still contribute to the overall war. Warp into a sector, repair all your ally ships, warp out, and then call in for more support in that area. Because each sector's instance, there's going to be a limitation on the amount of ships that'll be in there. So you can set up like a rotation of, hey, we're warping in a bunch of our heavier ships. One of them jumps out, you warp in with your repair ship, repair them all up, and then hop out for another destroyer to enter combat.
Yeah, I think that's going to be pretty interesting if you've got like just you're talking with your friends, you're telling them, hey, we're about to like just destroy some people, and we will just move all of our, I guess, scouting ships, all of our front line, warp in the big ones, get everybody ready. Do you also get experience for doing that scouting? Like, is there? I know that obviously support, you can repair stuff. That makes sense to build experience that way. But are there scouting type of roles that allow you to say, okay, we found stuff. Somehow I get like side credit for that. Somehow I get experience for that.
Well, we're still in active development, so we're hashing out all the systems because we want to get a good balance on what contributing to the overall scale of the game is. So we don't want it where, like being a scout is better than being basically the main brute attack force. So right now we're still in a little bit of flux, but we want it where each ship contributes and the captain of each ship gets experience and rewards for their contribution. And one of the interesting aspects of the game is that each faction is vying for control of the galactic map. Once the faction controls the whole map, the season ends. And everybody gets rewards and badges based on their contribution to the war. So even if your faction doesn't win, you still get something to benefit to show that, hey, I contributed to this interstellar conflict.
Yeah, I like that idea of like a season that's maybe not based on time, like most games think of a season being. Do you have a time frame for how long you would think it would be? I know that obviously could be completely based on how well, if two factions are fighting it out forever. Do you have an idea of how long that might take in your guys' eyes?
We're trying to balance it so the season will take maybe about 6 weeks, but it can always vary. We can see how the community is responding to the game. They may say, "Oh, these seasons are too long," so we'll tweak some of the systems to make it more expedient. Or they go, "Oh, 6 weeks is really short to take control of a whole galaxy." So we could tweak things so it's harder to take sectors to drag it out.
Okay. All right. So I know the game is currently in open alpha, and you guys, what can people expect going forward, and where can they find info, and what are they going to be able to play it on?
Right now, you can go to spacewars.com and sign up for the beta. And once the beta is released in December, you'll have access to basically the full game and to try it out for yourself.
Okay. And it's PC, and you said Unity might allow for access to other platforms as well, right?
Yes, it will be released on PC. Our main focus right now is Steam release, and we're definitely interested in releasing on consoles and other systems, but right now we want to have the core game hammered out, so we want to focus on PC as the lead platform and then expand out from there.
Well, that sounds wonderful. James, thanks so much for joining me. Really appreciate it, and good luck with the game.
Thank you.